Hello, everyone out there on Facebook and YouTube, and those of you who may be watching the replay of this. This is David Kendrick here with Lion Speaking Agency with my special guest today, Mrs. Ayana Huff. And what we're going to be speaking about today is cyberbullying and the impact that it has on children's mental health. So first, I'd like to start by letting Miss Huff introduce herself. So, Miss Huff, could you introduce yourself and let us know about your children, the ages, and what grade they're in, or going to, I should say.
Okay. My name is Ayana Huff. I'm a mom of three. My oldest is 15. She just finished ninth grade. I have a 14-year-old that just finished eighth grade and an 11-year-old that just finished fifth grade. So I have kids in elementary, middle school, and high school. So next year, two will be going to high school and one will be in middle school. Yeah, I guess that's about me. I've been married for 16 years. And we live in Atlanta or the suburbs of Atlanta.
Nice. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the subject here, mental health and children, and the reason that I chose this for a topic today for today's chat. So, and growing up in the 90s, there was the internet was just starting out. But now today, children are committing suicide, they're being depressed, and they're under this pressure to be not only cool in school, but now they have to be cool online. And it can be a lot of pressure because when you're a kid, you're trying to figure out who you are. And you're going through all of the natural stages of growing up. You're trying to fit in. You're starting to like boys or girls for the first time. You know, you're trying to find out where you fit into the social circle, or should I say the social hierarchy within the school system. And then you get home and you got to do the same thing online. You got to post the best pictures. You got to be cool on multiple platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. There's just so much pressure to be cool, and it's pressure that I know I didn't have when I was growing up. So I thought it would be a good day or a good topic to have to speak about mental health with about the mental health of children, because it's just so important, and we're starting to lose children out of suicide due to cyberbullying.
Okay.
So, first question that I have for you today here is so you have three children, and they are all different ages. So, what is their online activity, and how do you monitor what they do online? How do the three of them use the internet to engage with others?
So my son, who's 11, just recently got a phone because he's going to middle school, and there's other factors like he's going to be the last one to leave the house because middle school doesn't start until after 9 o'clock here. So everybody will be gone already. So it's kind of a safety issue just to let us know he got on the bus, things of that nature. But prior to that, he was not online. He does have a YouTube channel that I do monitor. But really he only has like 2 subscribers. So I'm not he ain't doing nothing. My oldest, who's 15, she does have she's had a cell phone for a while. Excuse me. And I think with her, she's only on a couple different platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, and I think she has a TikTok account. Well, she does have a TikTok account, but she doesn't use that often. But I am also on those platforms to monitor her. I see like who she follows and who's following her. We also have like it's called, well, there's two of them. Verizon, because that's who our provider is, has a platform where I can monitor where she goes. Like it sends me a text message or a message when wherever she goes. Like it'll send me like at the end of the day. So she went here and she spent this much time here and things of that nature. I think there's one called Life 365. Don't quote me on it, but it does kind of the same thing. And that is the same for my middle child. She has that on her phone. So I can see what they're doing all day, really wherever they go. Whatever platforms they're on, I do have an account to monitor theirs. And I do what I call random phone checks. So at any time, I just ask for their phone and I just take a look and see what they're doing.
Wow, that's interesting. See, I don't have children, so I didn't know that you do all that to monitor their online activity, and that's really good to keep them safe, especially on YouTube. Because when you upload videos to YouTube, they ask you, is this video safe for children?
Mm-hmm.
Because the comments on there can be nasty, and you can turn comments off. But of course, you want to get a comment on your video because you know
Right.
people are watching. So it can definitely be dangerous online there. Next question that I have for you here is, since your children have been using the internet and growing, you have children in different ages and different stages of school, have you seen the internet change their social activity at all? Have you seen them try to fit in with any trends they see online, or have you seen what they do online kind of bleed into how they act at home?
So the internet started when I was in high school, right? That'll tell you how old I am. Like I remember AOL. We didn't have internet. And I was like in 10th grade when AOL first started, like the whole internet thing. And it was a lot different. Um, I personally definitely talked to strangers and probably people I shouldn't have talked to, but that's because it was still new. So because I have this old experience, I'm more hypersensitive to what my kids do and who they talk to. Um, I also remember a time where like you didn't know that your friends were hanging out without you until Monday. So like on Friday, if they're like, no, I'm not busy, and you didn't get in contact with them, you didn't see it right then. Like you didn't see it on Saturday, like, oh, everybody's hanging out, but I'm sitting at home. You had to wait till Monday to find out. And by then it was already passed. So yeah, you were probably bummed because nobody invited you. But now they see it real time. Like, how come everybody hanging out and ain't nobody called me? So
Mm.
it can be kind of difficult for them because they feel like they seeing people hang out, but they didn't get invited, or they're seeing people post because with the internet what they post the best of it. They're not posting everything. They're posting just the good stuff, right?
Living your best life.
Exactly, exactly. So for my oldest, I don't really feel like she has a hard time with it. My middle daughter definitely has a hard time with the internet. She just got Instagram maybe a month ago. It hasn't even been that long because of that, because she's very hypersensitive to what everyone else is doing. She's a little bit more impressionable than my other two. So, like, if she sees this, then all of a sudden she likes that. Or if she sees people doing that, then she wants that. So, with her, we waited a little while before I let her do that. But the kids communicate on that. So like they don't text, they don't call each other. They talk on DMs and make plans through social media. So it was almost like I was keeping her from making plans with people because she wasn't on those platforms.
Mm. And you made a good point. You see, like children now, they can see other children hanging out online, and I can only imagine what I imagine in my head is when you go to sit at the lunch table and all the kids just leave, like in the old school cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
You have children who think, well, how come nobody tagged me in this post, or how come nobody's sending me funny memes or anything like that? What do I have to do to be accepted in this online social circle?
Right.
I think about the pressure of just having the kids say, what do I have to post? What do I have to do for people to interact online? Like, for instance, on Instagram, what do I have to post to get more followers? Because you don't
Right.
want to be that child who doesn't have followers. So does any of your children they come to you with concerns about, I don't have any followers, I don't feel like I belong?
Nobody's come to me with those concerns, but I definitely know that likes and things of that nature, like people reposting your posts or liking your posts, I think it really does give them like a sense of endorphins. Like it makes them excited. They want to post the cool stuff. Like, oh, a lot of people like this post, so I'm gonna keep posting stuff like that because that's what people like. Um, but since my kids' accounts are all private, um, it's not like if they get somebody who wants to follow them, like it sends me a message, so I have to see who it is. Like, do you know this person in real life? Like, tell me about this person before you let them see your stuff. So, my oldest has a lot of followers because she knows more people. My middle child doesn't have as many. One, because she just got on social media, and two, she in real life is like a really shy, introverted person.
Mhm.
So online she can be this person that she can't express in real life because she has social anxiety. So being around a bunch of people makes her super anxious. So online she can relax and be herself, which is cool. But at the same time, I have to watch because she can be a keyboard warrior. You know, you know how those people are. They get behind their computers and then they're that person. So it's interesting to see them like online and in real life. They're definitely different people.
Okay. And that keyboard warrior, that's a perfect segue into my next question. Because a lot of people are keyboard warriors and they can type everything that they want to, and there's really no filter to whatever they say online. And I know for me, as a small business owner, when I post something and I see someone post something that isn't nice, I get a little bit sad because I put a lot of work into creating a business and putting stuff out there, and then I see a comment that isn't too positive, and it kind of affects my mood. So has anyone ever had any one of your children ever came to you a little bit sad or depressed because someone's ever said something mean to them online?
Well, not necessarily mean or quote cyberbullying online. There are rules in place with the school. So just because you are not in school, if somebody posts something online that is bullying or something of that nature, like it'll still be repercussions at school. So just because it's done outside of school, um, they can still get suspended. They can get ISS. A lot of things
Really?
can happen. Yeah. And I've seen it. There was a girl in my older daughter's class. Somebody posted some pictures of her online, and that person ended up um, getting ISS for what they did. And then the people who forwarded the picture, because it started to go kind of viral, they got in trouble too. So just because it doesn't happen at school, it can still have repercussions. So I think that for my kids, that keeps them from spreading stuff because just because you didn't start it, and if you continue it on, you're still a part of the problem, and you'll still have repercussions. Um, so yeah, my kids they're not mean like that. They've been picked on in school, not necessarily online. So they're really sensitive about people being picked on. They have come to me and been like, so and so, they're sending pictures of so and so, or so and so is being picked on. Can you tell somebody, or who do we talk to so that this can stop? But not necessarily them personally.
Wow. See, more things I didn't know. So you can get suspended in school for something that you did outside of school online. Wow. So it's good to know that there are people or the repercussions for what you do online, even though, so you just can't be mean to someone online because kids have feelings just like adults do. But
Right.
when you're growing up and your mind is developing, of course, you're trying to figure out who you are and what an adult can listen to and just go continue with their day. It can be a crushing blow to a child because
Right.
that old term "sticks and stones may break my bones, the words will never hurt me." It doesn't. It's not valid today because words hurt.
Yeah, they hurt.
Words hurt a lot, especially online when they're coming from so many people that you don't know.
Right.
So it kind of leads me into my next question here. And you stated that your children will let you know if someone else is posting mean or nasty pictures or if there's something going on around the school. So what do your children know about cyberbullying?
Um, I can't speak to what they know. I know that they have not been a part of it. They won't continue if somebody's being bullied online because, like I said, they've been bullied in person in school. So that is not their nature. They're just not that kind of people. They're always trying to uplift people anyway. So if somebody sends a picture or something like that, they'll either not open it and be like, "Hey, I got this picture. I need you to look at it," or they'll be like, "Hey, so and so sent me this picture. um I think it's going around, you know." So I can appreciate that because they want to be part of the solution, not really the problem. um but cyberbullying happens. I think they know that is definitely out there. So.
Oh, okay. Good. Now, I don't mind telling my age. So I'm 33, and when I grew up, we didn't have, Facebook. Obviously, no social media or anything like that. We can just go to. There was pressure and bullying in school, but when you went home, you were safe in the comfort of your own home, and there was no internet to be. And then when things did start online, they were so slow that there was really no cyberbullying going on. So when it comes to mental health in children, what do you think is different today about when we were kids growing up in the 80s and 90s? What do you think is different?
I think their whole life revolves around the internet and around social media. Like if I take one of my kids' phones for even a little bit, they're having a whole anxiety attack. Like, who's texting me? What's going on? Like, they're gonna miss out on something. And I'm like, you're not gonna miss out on anything. As far as their mental health, because I sound like I'm at work, because I'm not a mental health professional. Um, but I have seen how it does affect their mental health. As far as like they're always trying to fit in all the time, or trying to get the best pictures, or trying to post. They only post certain things, and I'm like, one, you don't have to post everything. Like everybody doesn't need to know what you're doing all seconds of the day. And two, like, who cares? Like, there's some people, I don't care what you do on the weekends. If you want to go do your thing, do your thing. But I think it does have effect because it gives them a sense of high, a sense of feeling included when they're posting this stuff, in my opinion. Just from what I've seen, because if I take their devices away because they're grounded or for a phone check or whatever, then they're like looking at me like, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Like, what did I miss?" Um, so I don't know. When I grew up, I'm older than you. I was born, or I'm 40. So, like I said, when I grew up, we had chat rooms. So you go online and you sit in a room, and there'd be like a whole bunch of people in there, and you'd be talking to a bunch of people. But Facebook was like only for college kids. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even for it wasn't an open platform, and all the other stuff. Like there was MySpace, which you post stuff and then it would just stay there. It wasn't like really a lot of interactive, like real time. So it's just different because everything is so real time.
Yeah, it is. It is. And there was a video, and even though this didn't happen online, there was a video of a kid. I believe it was either early this year or late last year, about a kid, and I think he was in Australia, who was getting bullied, and he was telling his mom how he wanted to just kill himself because he couldn't handle the bullying. Because I think just because he looked different. I don't know exactly what what his physical condition was or whatever he had is called, but kids can be mean because it's kind of like that pack mentality. You want to fit in, you want to belong, and you kind of see, like, I don't have children, but I have little sisters, and you see personalities change once they see, okay, well, I have to be like this to fit in. So I'm going to do what these other popular kids are doing. And if it means, making fun of this kid over here with ABC, then that's what I'm going to do because now I fit in and they're not going to
Mm-hmm.
make.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
hard. Like if you're being picked on at school and then you think your home is safe and you come home and then they're picking on you online, like you're like, I just can't get away from this. Like, what am I supposed to do to get away if every time I get online or when I go to school, somebody is picking on me? That can definitely toll on your mental health.
Yeah, because when I was a child, I didn't even know what suicide was when I was 13, 14, 15. And now you hear about, today kids committing suicide due to cyberbullying. And it's just horrible to see that this impact from people who you don't even really know, and people who just have bad intentions they can hide because they're anonymous online. They're causing people to self-harm or causing these children to kill themselves, and then they continue to do it just because they like the attention that it gets them, or they just like the control that they have over other people online. It's horrible, 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 horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're wrapping this thing up here, a short conversation today. Last question I have for you. When you see, or if your children hear about another child getting bullied, do you have a way to contact that children's parents to let them know, hey, my daughter or my son told me that your daughter or your son may be getting harassed online, or there's something going on or being passed around about a picture or a note or post about your daughter or your son?
With kids having their own cell phones, I don't really have a lot of parents' numbers. Um,
Mm,
uh, I can, because we've lived in the same community for so long, since my kids were like in elementary school and middle school. Like I can look back, like if I have like a roster from the class and see if that person was in their class a long time ago,
mm,
and probably contact them. But generally speaking, I don't have a lot of parents' phone numbers. Um, because my kids make their own plans. They're kind of old enough; they make their own plans. When they want to do something, they come to me with the who, what, when, where, and why. And if I'm, if it's workable, then they just kind of go. Um, but and again, my kids hang out with the same group. Like my oldest plays lacrosse, so she hangs out with like her team and stuff like that. And it just I don't have a lot of parents' numbers, or I know where they live. I might go by their house or something like that, like if it's really serious. But
mhm, mhm.
generally speaking, I don't. I'm like, what's your mama's number? Because I don't have that information. So
Perfect. Okay. Okay. Well, those are all the questions that I really had today. It's just a short conversation, and it was also great for me to enlighten myself on all the methods out there that they have to protect children online. So, I guess the last question that I would ask you is, if there's someone like myself out there who may be thinking about becoming a parent, or if there's parents out there who don't know what measures to take to protect their children online, could you give us those tools that you've used again, just so that other people out there can use it as a resource to protect their children from cyberbullying?
I definitely follow my kids' accounts. So you can't have it if you don't want me to follow it. I'm not stalking them, but I do need a tool, a way to be able to monitor it. And if I see something on there, somebody says something, I say something back. Like, hey, her mom is on here or whatever, something like that. Or his mom is on here. So there's a couple of different apps. I guess one is called Life 365. Check your phone provider. They may have an app. I don't know what the other ones have, but we have Verizon and they have something to monitor like online activity. And just be aware. Like some parents just let their kids just do whatever. You have to remember that they're still children and they still need guidance. You don't necessarily have to be that helicopter parent, but
Mm-hmm.
don't just let your kids just run wild. Like that's how people who let their kids run wild, they become, they're like, not my kid. Yeah, your kid, because you're not watching them. Exactly, it's your kid. So just be hyper aware and a sense and sensitive to other people. So what somebody may say or what your child may say, it may offend somebody. It may not be offensive to you, but that doesn't mean that it's not offensive to that person.
That's a good point. That's a great point. What may not be offensive to you may be offensive to someone else. That's a great point, because today in 2020, there's more and more lifestyles and other things that are being accepted. So just because you may not agree with it, it doesn't mean that there's 1,000 other people out there who do. So,
Right.
Miss Huff, I do want to thank you very much for your time, and thank you for those of you who are watching this live with me today or watching the replay. This was a discussion about cyberbullying and mental health and the impact of cyberbullying on our children. This is David Kendrick from Lion Speaking Agency and Miss Ayana Huff. And I'm going to end the broadcast now. And Ayana, I'll ask you to stay here with me.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, guys.